Hello Libra, Libra rising and Libra moon people. This is your monthly astrological horoscope for the month of June 2017. And a quick reminder for y'all out there, if you're curious as to how all of this works when astrologers are saying, why check your rising sign? Why is that energy relevant? And so on and so forth. I have a special video on the main channel page that explains all of that and even how this can, feasibly be related back to the tarot if you do enjoy the weekly tarot and astrology horoscopes. Remember, the first half is astrology exclusively for people, who like astrology only, and then there's tarot in the second half for anyone who, who resonates with that. So there's something for everybody. And of course, also, quick announcement, I have got something special for you. On the 10th of this month, on Saturday, at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, US and Canada, or 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, US and Canada, I'll be appearing on Nadiya Shah's channel for a special talk and interview, and we're going to be talking all about astrology, tarot, spirituality, and all kinds of good stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm sure a lot of you already know who she is. She's a fabulous, wonderful, beautiful astrologer, a really, really nice person. So glad I'm friends with her. And I will put a link to her channel below. And of course, if you ever want to get a session with me, you can follow the links below, or go to integrativemysticism.com. So what is going on with the astrology this month for the Libras? Libra, this is the beginning of an interesting turn of events that's going on, and it happens every 2 to 3 months, where a lot of planets start to group up in one area of our chart, before moving on and scattering once again. And it all starts on the 4th. We've got Mars, planet of action and energy, conviction, and prowess, to some degree, moving into your 10th house of career. And you know what I say about Mars in the financial houses, 2, 6, and 10? It's time to talk about collecting some sweet overtime pay and sweet overtime money, because when Mars goes into a financial house, it rewards with money for labor. So if you've been trying to pick up extra hours, extra clients, if you've been trying to pick up opportunities for big financial turns, big financial moves for a lot of you Libras, this is where you are going to be. You may also notice that with Mars going into the 10th house, there's going to actually be an opportunity for you to compete for a higher position for yourself, a higher position or higher opportunity that may actually boost your career for the long haul, for the long run. And this is a trend that continues to go on all the way up until the 3rd week of July. On the 6th of the month, we do have Venus, planet of love, harmony, peace, romance, pleasure, all that good stuff, moving into your 8th house of intimacy. And it also talks about shared resources, passive income, as well as self-employment income. But Venus going into the 8th house is definitely more about the sensual and the sensuality, and you are going to be very much blessed with plenty of opportunities to actually explore and enjoy more intimacy with a partner. And if you don't have a partner, well, guess what? This will actually bring a partner if you are open and if you are willing to experiment and maybe go a little bit outside your type. In fact, with Venus in the 8th house, we tend to have opportunities to explore certain types of fantasies with our loved one, or perhaps even get more spice and more romance, with our partner, with our wife, with our girlfriend, boyfriend, husband. In fact, with with Venus into the 8th house, we tend to be more creative with our romance, no matter what. And so it does, it kind of gets us out of any kind of ruts that we're in. Maybe we've just not been having a lot of time to actually have that romance, that spark go in our intimacy areas, and so therefore this is going to bring those opportunities and also bring that energy out of a partner or a partner to have that energy with. When it comes to your passive income, Venus tends to increase the supplemental side of our income. Those of you who work for sales, those of you who make money in incentives, commissions, tips, things like that, you're going to be noticing them growing and being quite big between now and the end of the 1st week of July. On the 8th, we've got Mercury, planet of communications, information, travel, and haste, moving into your 9th house of travel, higher education, government legal proceedings, as well as your, as well as your spiritual life, as well as your higher spiritual education, your formal spiritual practices. If you have one, you can be formal about things that are non-religious as well. And with Mercury going into the 9th house, you're going to be speeding up some kind of process that has been taking too long here. Has there been a legal situation or a legal discussion that has taken too long? Are we trying to get some kind of permit or some kind of license for ourselves to get some kind of project or work underway, and it's been taking too long to get that going? Maybe some of you are going to be planning some kind of trip abroad, overseas, or maybe even getting yourself into a new academic group, new academic circle. If you're looking to if you're hoping for an opportunity, to get into the school or education program of your choice, this is the time where you notice these doors swinging open between the 6th and the 21st of the month. On the 9th, we've got a full moon in Sagittarius, in your 3rd house of communications, pacts, promises, and commitments. And there may be some kind of severance going on this month with a contract or an agreement that you have made that you do want to get out of. Okay, whether it's a lease, maybe you're trying to move, but you're tied up to a lease to a house or an apartment. Maybe it's a contract that you have for work, or, maybe we can't get out of something for the job that we have, or the obligation we have to school, or to somebody else even. This full moon is going to give you an opportunity to get away, to break away from a tie that binds, that no longer works for you. And you'll have an opportunity to make that formal severance, or make that known, between the 9th and the 24th. We've also got Jupiter going direct in your sign, bringing you more luck, abundance, and harmony, absolutely. And what's going to be happening here is that with Jupiter going direct, you may be even finding yourself you're attracting a lot more attention than you're used to. Okay? And you're noticing a ripple effect with everything you do, becoming bigger and bigger. Now, with Jupiter, it does tend to expand on whatever we do, so there's no such thing as a little nudge, or, a drop in a bucket. Every drop makes a tsunami. Now, this could be a really nice thing for a lot of you who are trying to make some exponential shifts, in your physical health, or maybe you're trying to make some shifts in how you handle things in your social life. Maybe you're trying to, again, go out and find yourself an opportunity to get into a love relationship. Jupiter expanding this is going to bring you all of that wildcard blessing of Jupiter. And of course, Jupiter itself being the lord of money and luck, you're going to be noticing, again, more going into your pocketbook. And Jupiter's going to stay like this all the way up until October, so it's not a short-term aspect. And then, like I said before, very seldom are any of these short-term. On the 16th, we do have Neptune turning retrograde in Pisces, in your 6th house of work, reputation, and your physical health, where he will be retrograde all the way up until November. And with Neptune being retrograde, it's not actually a bad retrograde to have. You remember, outer planets tend to not be bad retrogrades. They tend to, honestly, be neutral. Usually more good with Neptune. And that's because with Neptune retrograde, we tend to lose the rose-colored goggles, we tend to, lose the tunnel vision goggles, and we put on the X-ray specs. We start to see the truth about something that we didn't see before. Excuse me one sec, I've just got to move somebody who is rubbing up against the tripod. That's one of the cats. And when we have the illusions removed from our 6th house of reputation and physical health, there may be some revelations about a treatment plan or a treatment option or a health issue you've been dealing with that actually have an easier solution than you've been working with so far. There may be a correction that goes in your favor, or maybe even an opportunity to leave a treatment program or even a medication that's been causing more problems than good. Of course, always consult your physician. Don't just follow blindly with an astrology report, but you may actually see that happening. We also see with the 6th house, when we have Neptune go retrograde, there's also an opportunity to sort of get a quick glance at secret things that you can do to change or actually make work more efficient for you by actually exploiting a change in your schedule that other people aren't going to be afforded. On the 21st, we've got the Sun and Mercury both moving into Cancer, into that 10th house of career. And when we have the Sun and Mercury moving into the 10th house of career, we tend to see an opportunity for you to bolster your credibility, bolster your reputation there, but also at the same time with Mercury, actually promote yourself much, much faster. when it comes to this area. And usually when we talk about promoting ourselves faster, we're talking about a test, an interview, a check of your methods that really does actually get you moving with bigger circles, that really does get the attention or more attention of, you know, somebody that we really do recognize and revere. We also have a new moon in this area on the 23rd, which is actually going to work very well with that sun getting, you know, producing a higher yield from the work that you put into your job. And this new moon may even have you get headhunted, taken into a new circle, taken into a new to a new workforce, or perhaps even bringing you a new partner or a new employee or a new support system at the job that you have or the business that you own, and whatever shifts they make to your job or your work profile as you know it, it's going to actually be a huge improvement. And a lot of this starts at the end of this month, but again, like I said, a lot of this energy is also going to come up in the beginning of July. A lot of this is going to happen for at least 2 to 3 weeks, so don't think that it's all going to happen just on one day. So I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it, Libra. And if you'd like to get a session, you can always follow the links below or go to integrativemysticism.com.